Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Hafizh Fachriza Salam and my friends are Muhammad Agra Prima and Fira Yunika. We are from group 4 of Class B English Literature UIN Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta. The subject of our presentation is mental health condition and distress of college students amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, we are here today to discuss about how online learning affects students' mental health. We plan to talk about 15 minutes and we have divided our talk into 4 sections. First, we will give an overview of mental health challenges currently facing college students. Next, we will discuss about the use of online lecture learning and its result in student stress level. Then we will look at the factors that cause the student stress and a case of student distress. Last, we will give solutions and strategy of how to cope the college stress. If you have any question, you can write it down in the comment section below. Okay, let's start with the first point. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought major change to the activities and behavior of people in the world. Unfortunately, the change to be less positive, especially in terms of mental health. Indonesia's government has made the policy that require public to do physical distancing. The application of this physical distancing calls on the public to stay at home only. If there is no need that requires them to be outside the home in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19 virus. Because of that, the Ministry of Education and Culture released the instruction to all universities in Indonesia to do the online lecture. Online lectures are internet-based teaching and learning process conducted by student and lecturer, where participants can access material, interact, discuss, and develop themselves through online-based learning experience. In the implementation process, this online lecture raised several problems. Many students complained that they didn't understand the material presented and they got more assignments than ordinary lecture. Because of that, not a few students experience stress due to this online lecture. Stress is a condition of physical, emotional, cognitive, and behavioral response to an event is considered threatening or challenging the individual. According to research conducted by Wahyuni in 2017, stress can be in the form of avoiding tasks, withdrawing, having trouble with sleeping, sleeping on, and having trouble with eating. Physiologically, stress can be in the form of heart palpitation, high blood pressure, heat, cold, sweat, dizziness, abdominal pain, and fatigue. While on the psychological aspect, stress can be in the form of frustration, depression, disappointment, feeling guilty, confused, helpless, anxious, and unmotivated.
Okay, the next material is the use of online lecture learning and the result on student stress level. I will explain about online lecture first. What is online lectures? Online lectures is a lecture system that utilizes internet access as a learning medium. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, activities that are usually carried out directly cannot be carried out. All universities apply learning technology for online lectures. The application in online learning are used by lecturers and the student in different places. Online teaching is carried out at various universities that are fast adapting to the application offers, such as Zoom Meeting, Google Meeting, Google Classroom, and the others. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Student stress level. There are several things to the degree. There are stress, mental distress, depression, and anxiety. The first is stress. With the implementation of this system, it was found that there were students who were mentally disturbed, stressed, and unable to follow the learning process properly. Then mentally disturbed. The stuttering of educators and students who are confused about online learning methods, along with a pile of tasks, has led to the widespread occurrence of students' mental disorders, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, there is depression. Depression experienced by students can usually have an impact on negative thoughts about lectures, which makes them feel overwhelmed so that it is difficult to think clearly. And the last one is anxiety. Anxiety can be in the form of feeling worried, uncomfortable, uncertain, or feeling very afraid as a result of threats or threatening feelings where the real source is not known with certainty.
Now we are moving on to the factors that cause student distress. So the most common reason of student distress is that normal classes may have been difficult, but having friends make it so much more easier. Meanwhile, online classes prevent students to get out and meet their friends, but leave them stuck alone with nothing but assignments. The other reasons are difficulty on understanding the material. Having a hard time to understand the material have made students struggle to do the given assignments. Students are worried about the possibility of having bad grades. Second, the number of assignments students got from online lectures has increased students' stress level. Besides, tight deadlines can feel burdening for some point. Next, slow internet condition in rural areas can contribute to student distress. Students who can only get internet access at home on their cell phone struggle to access resources available on the internet due to slow connectivity. Lastly, the unstable internet condition can make students feel anxious if there are any technical failures such as failed to submit assignments, missed the class, or even difficult to listen or concentrate during lectures.
Okay, the next material is student distress cases based on survey. Here we enter a case example based on a survey at Indraprastha University. 92.9% of 2,590 college students in Indraprastha universities reported feeling anxious and concerned about their future due to the inefficient online learning. 86% of them had difficulty understanding the material provided, and then 89% of them feel nervous and panic when it comes to technical problems during online learning.
Now, we will give you some strategies of how to cope with stress. The very important thing is that you have to be aware of the stressor, because an awareness of the stressor might help us to reduce the stress itself. So, think and write down all the main stressor in your academic life. It could be emotional stressor or even environmental stressor. After you have identified them, it's time to learn how to deal with them. One of the effective ways to reduce the stress is listening to music. Music is something that almost anybody can access and use it as an easy stress reduction tool. So whenever you're feeling stuck on your assignments or under intense pressure, you can play any kind of music that you prefer to listen to. And the next strategy is when you get really tired of studying, then you can stop for a couple of minutes to get some fresh air. Exposing your lungs to fresh air can help you to feel more relaxed. The next strategy that you can use is controlling your mind from unwanted thoughts. It is important for students to know how to manage their own mind. So I suggest listening your negative thoughts and observe them and convince yourself that you are not your own thoughts. You are more than that. And the next strategy is use positive reappraisal technique. Basically, it is training your brain to focus more on the positive rather than negative. For example, just say you experience negative events, and then you could try to think or imagine that how the situation could be more worse, or even opportunities that could result from that situation in the long term. Last but not least, use problem-focused strategy. This strategy deals with the root cause of the problem. So it is providing long-term solution. For example, when you feel stressed of the bunch of the assignments to do, then work on them immediately rather than unnecessary postponing. You also can make assignment tracker so you can manage or organize your assignment well. Lastly, let me clarify that some of the strategies might not helping you because after all we just giving you an advice. So please use strategy that you feel suits you more.
Okay, we come to the end of the material. That is the conclusion. There are several conclusions from the material that we have described. The first time is online learning makes stress level and reduction higher than normal time. And the second is trigger for student stress during online learning is difficulty doing assignment, internet network condition, and the technical problems. Last but not least is strategy. The strategy is to identify the causes of stress and quickly find ways to deal with them as they have come before.
Okay, thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.